welcome to Bookwood. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. If you haven't met before, my name is Mashou and I create bookish and journal related content over here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to do the final update in my reading journal for April. I will be creating and filling out my stats spread, doing a last update of my cabinet of familiar fables from the Orilium Magical Readathon this month, choose the familiar that will accompany me for the rest of my journey, and do an update of all my annual spreads in the front of this journal. The decoration of my stats page is in the same theme as the rest of my reading journal pages. That is a green witchy forest theme. If you want to see the full setup, I will link it down below. In April, I picked up 15 books, which is back to normal after the fabulous reading month in March. But I DNF'd none of them, and I even found 3 books that I wanted to give 5 stars to, the first of this year, which made me very happy. 2 of these books were ebooks, 5 were audiobooks, and 8 were physical books. I read 3,190 pages and listened to 42 hours and 3 minutes. Most of these books came from the library, that is 5 of them, and 4 were Audible included. 1 came from the audiobook library, 2 I owned, 2 were Kindle included, and 1 I found in a little free library, which we call a book box. I read 13 novels, 1 graphic novel, and 1 novella. I read books in 9 different genres, and my top 3 were, as always, fantasy, sci-fi, and non-fiction. That last one is quite out of my comfort zone, so I'm quite happy about that. 7 of the books I read were standalones, so 8 of them were series. I started 4 new ones, read 4 sequels, and even if I finished none, I am now up to date with 3 series, and I decided to not continue 2 of them. I read 3 books in English, 6 books in French, and another 6 in French that were translated from another language. With the submitting form closed, we ended up with 8 million pages read, and so we gained another familiar in the cabinet of familiar fables, which is the hypnofrog. This is also the familiar that I decided to pick out for Oleka to have. Time to update my yearly spreads, and we'll start by adding in the GRP credits that Oleka gained this semester. I read 2 more books for the 52 Book Clubs Connection Challenge. The books I've read were Dragon Day by Bob Prohl and The Far-Time Incident by Niv Maslakovic. If you want to have my reviews on them, at the end of this video there is an overview of which book I read in which vlog. I did finish the next book in the Rain Wild Chronicles from the Saga of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I read one other book for the 12 to Finally Read challenge, and that is The Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier. I am making good progress on this challenge. The progress I'm making on my Read Me Bingo, on which I can add 2 books this month, shows that having a look through the books I have laying around at home whilst making up my TBR is becoming a habit. This challenge really did what I wanted it to do. The books I read were Human Rights by Amélie Nothomb and Torchfire by Moria Buffini. And as you could see in my dedicated vlog, I did read a classic for TBRathon map of stories. This one was Rouletabille chez le Tsar, which is a French mystery classic, and it isn't recommended on YouTube. Well, now it is, of course, so I gained a pink medal. And we are already at the last spread, which is my series tracker. I'll start by adding in the sequels that I have read. I do not mark off the series for which I am up to date because I'm not sure if the next installments will be out this year or next year. I also need to add in 2 more series. How did your reading month go? Please let me know down in the comments. If you would like to know what I will be reading in May, you can always follow this channel and turn on the notifications so you're sure not to miss any videos. Talking about videos, next to these clips there will be an overview of all the carousel vlogs I've made, the books I have reviewed in them with a little link in the corner. See you soon!